AEW announced last week that they would be airing the footage of CM Punk and Jack Perry's All-In altercation on Dynamite this week. They did air the footage. The move was pretty clearly a response to CM Punk's Ariel Helwani interview, which we briefly discussed last week, as well as a broader response to the whole WWE infrastructure going in on AEW for all of Mania week. So the way they did it, the Bucks presented the footage with a promo in which they blamed the incident for potentially causing their loss to FTR at Wembley. And so they said there'll always be an asterisk next to that victory because of this. And then FTR got an in-ring promo to respond, in which Dax muddled his way through a very half-baked metaphor about houses. What do you guys think about both the presentation of the footage and the fact that the footage was presented?
I don't know. I sort of wish that I could, not think about it until after Dynasty and then just kind of have an idea. Because, this is Thursday night, so we just saw it last night. And so we've had 24 hours of absolutely insane discourse.
It's horrible online. It's so bad.
I don't know. I mean, I can kind of... What I would say is that while I was watching the Bucks present, intro the footage, I was like, this is funny. This is really working. I'm enjoying this. I'm having a blast. And then they showed the actual footage, and I was like, well, I guess that wasn't as damning as I was hoping it was going to be. I mean, he lied. This is proof that he's a liar, but we knew he was a liar. So I guess I thought it would be a little more dramatic. And then FTR came out, and I was like, oh no, I hate this. And I think now I don't like this angle because of what they did, but I'm not committed. I don't know. I don't know. I think it all needs to percolate longer.
Yeah, I feel very mixed about it because, I had a similar emotional journey through those pieces of it. And it was I was kind of hoping the footage would be, funnier. And I ended up feeling kind of just bummed out because it's, kind of a bummer to watch, a 45-year-old in management, attack a 25-year-old employee, kind of
while he was fixing his hair.
Yeah, while he was kind of flipping his hair around. It was... And he just backed up. I don't know. It's just well, that sucks. And then everybody's reactions online were pretty much what you expect, which didn't surprise me at all. No. But there was so much hand wringing about whether they should have shown it. I saw that more than okay, that was really weird. Zoom just put a bunch of balloons in my screen. I didn't do that.
Zoom said, "Cheer up, girls! I don't see you looking
it's a celebration
right now."
It was turn those frowns upside down.
There's just a load of cartoon balloons just floated across Anne's screen as she was saying something kind of sad and serious, and I don't know why.
That is emotional terrorism from Zoom. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It was a very weird. The discourse was very weird because I saw more hand wringing about how they shouldn't have shown it because of negative reactions than I saw actual negative reactions. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of bots doing negative reactions, but I felt like that was more the podcaster class of it, which to me is just should everyone just take a Xanax? And I don't even think they were wrong to show it, because if the intended effect is to make CM Punk shut up by being look, you can't take shots at us forever. We will respond. We'll show, footage that shows you're a liar, whatever. I hope he does shut up, and it's worth a shot, I think. And it's I don't think there's probably any long-term negative consequences, because I don't think it's going to affect their TV deal or it's we'll have a week of annoying discourse and then everyone will move on with their lives. But it's I also just, after the Bucks part stopped, I did not have a pleasant experience. So it's I would have enjoyed a more fun time. But also Punk and WWE did this to me, So
yeah.
I don't know.
Well, my thing is that the footage was nothing. It wasn't going to change anything. But the thing is that I was enjoying the Bucks heel turn so much because it was goofy. And it was they wanted you to boo them. So it just felt them appearing was less loaded because the crowd was participating the way they liked. It felt like they had control of the crowd more, and everyone was popping for them to come out, but then, booing them the way they're supposed to. Everything was just lining up. And now there's a complicated thing where it's I don't want to see the Bucks get booed because I want people to be taking their side, but they're still the heels, and they're specifically being set up to be using the Punk footage to be heels, which is furthering the angle. Like, they didn't want to get baby-faced. I get it. But at the same time, now it just feels extremely complicated where I'm like, so the crowd is now on the side of FTR that's sort of on the side of Punk. Okay, so what are we rooting for here then? We're rooting, like, I just feel like everything got muddy, and I'm nervous that it's going to have fucked up the Bucks reinvention, because now it's just brought all of this back in, which they had just escaped it. But at the same time, I am like, well, nobody can say that until after the match. So let's see how the Dynasty match goes. But I guess, that's not, I guess in the IWC, you can't really be like, I'm not going to have a take on this for a while. You kind of have to like immediately spitball a take and then defend it with your entire life with an army of followers, I think.
And just keep doubling down on it. I know everybody had takes like before they saw the footage, which to me it was like, well, we'll just see how it goes.
That stressed me out so bad. I've just been not having a good time on the internet because I mean, the moment that I found out about the footage, I started getting tense because I was just reading a lot of people speculating. And I actually think, like, a lot of our friends were speculating in a way that, like, they didn't seem tense. They were just, commentating on what they thought. But me just reading this was stressing me out. Listening to people that I respect speculate what would happen. And so then by the time yesterday came around, I was so tense in my body, you would have thought I was going on stage. And I'm like, what do you think you're contributing to this TV show? And
it doesn't matter. Some of us just have that dance mom energy. I mean, I get nervous about so many things that I watch on wrestling. I have to say, I think it's miraculous that I watch it at all. I have so much vicarious embarrassment about live public performances. But I think I agree. It's like a lot of it is just wait and see. I honestly, I don't think that this is going to derail the Bucks' like characters. I don't think it's going to derail the gimmick. And in a way, I'm like, the real problem was that they were going to fight FTR, that this thing has been, that this tournament has been leading to them fighting FTR. And I don't know that they had to show the footage, but I also don't know how they were ever going to navigate that situation when it's been playing out so publicly, and FTR just love honking Punk's hog all the time, and honk their hogs too, and they're all hog honking. So it's like everyone knows about that. So I just think that was always, think it was always going to be an issue.
Well, and I think especially when they're going to be introducing Jack Perry, and again, he's been doing the whole scapegoat thing. If you want to reference that, but you kind of have to like acknowledge what happened. So I feel like, I don't know. I think the Bucks did a good job making it into an angle. Like, I felt like it was really working through their promo. Although, I mean, you're absolutely right about the like heel dynamics muddling things. But I thought this is a good way to like introduce Jack Perry back and all that kind of stuff. And then I think FTR were in a situation where it's like it's a high level of difficulty to take this stuff and work it seamlessly into an angle, and they're just not up for it. Like, they have 3 moves in a promo. It's like, we're the best tag team in the world. Like, you guys are lame and we love AEW, and they were trying to also be like, the Bucks made this place, which is great for all of us, but also we're better than that. It was just, it didn't hang together.
Dax really fell apart when he had to move through the part of a promo where you're supposed to put over your opponent. Yeah. He just couldn't navigate in that tight space. So it really was just like, and thank God for the Bucks. I guess maybe we should be thanking them. But then at the same time, I think that they don't even want to be building a house. They don't want to build a house right now. They did build this house, but they don't want to build houses. They think they're too good to build houses. We love building houses. We're going to blow the roof off this one, but then we will build a new roof and put it back on, baby. Okay, Mr. Nonsense.
I wish that they had just slammed that EVP EV petty thing that the Bucks tweeted after, because they did sort of hit it when they were like, why are you bringing this up? But what they should have done is been like, you guys never get over anything. You're always bringing things up. Now you're going to try to slither out of your loss at Wembley. This is always what you're doing.
History in there too, because it is. I mean, it is such a long-running part of their gimmick.
Yeah. And I mean, he could have even used like, oh yeah, did you found AEW? You've never mentioned that before. You know what I mean? Like
totally,
there's so many things that they could have done there that would have furthered the angle, would have made fun of the Bucks and kept like the dynamics going. But it just, by doing a rah-rah speech, it made it, I don't know.
Yeah. And everything they said when they were like, we all just want to move on from this. But it's like the way they phrased it just reminded me that Dax had his stupid podcast that kept everyone not moving on for ages. And it was just like, Dax, you're so stupid. Like, please stop.
Right.
Yeah. I think ultimately, I think it's going to be fine. I think that presumably their plan is to never mention Punk again. And that's great. Yeah. And I think it would be great if this could be kind of like it's like sometimes you have an episode of a TV show that just doesn't really impact the overall character arcs at all. Yeah. Like what happened in it just exists in its own little realm. Bottle episode. Yeah. Well, I don't know if that's kind of. Anyway, but
it's like a monster of the week. Like
just like a monster of the week, but sometimes it's where they're just like, we're never going to mention that again. It's just not going to come up again. And I think that would be great. I think honestly the thing that I found most stressful, and I like keep not really knowing how to say it, and I'm like not trying to sound like a pious bitch or anything, but like I didn't really think that the footage would be funny, and I watched it and it was exactly what it was. Like, it's like, as you said, a 45-year-old man in management, like, comes up to employee and starts fucking wailing on him. So it's gross and it sucks. And then having to watch everybody talk about it and have this argument about, like, how AEW showed the footage because they're gotten to, or it was petty to show the footage for AEW, not in the Bucks gimmick, but the AEW was petty to show the footage, or that they were taking the low road. And I just feel like it just makes me feel so whack in my head when it's just like, it's not a perspective that AEW has come up with. It's not a story that AEW is telling. It is footage of what happened. Yeah. That's all it is. It is just camera footage of what actually happened and how people actually behaved. And I personally don't, again, I don't know if they should have showed it on TV. I don't know what the right way to do any of this was, but I don't think it's crazy if somebody keeps lying and changing their story about what happened just because. I think Trevor Dame said this today. He was like, well, of course Punk is going to be able to spin it. And it's like, sure, the world is full of bad people who will always spin something to make it seem good for them. And the world is also full of sycophants who love having stuff spun for them. Like that, I know that's the essential nature of our culture today. But I don't think that it's bad to say, like, okay, you can say anything you want. This is the actual truth. These are the facts. This is the thing that, like, you throw it out there. People can look at it. They can argue amongst themselves. To me, and I hope this is what it ends up being, I hope that from AEW's perspective, it's just like, we gave you all the facts. You can figure it out for yourselves. You can decide that you like the man. You can decide that you don't. But he can't run around saying anything he wants anymore. Because at the very least, even though some people will enjoy believing his lies, other people will be able to say, this is the footage.
Right.
Yeah. I think that we need to let go of the idea of just putting the truth out there.
Yeah.
In our society. I think maybe it's good sometimes.
Worth something sometimes. And they have tried to, like, just take the high road and move on and not talk about it for, I mean, how long has it been now? Like, a million years. So, I mean, at a certain point, like, what are they supposed to do? It's just not that.
Yeah. It's just a bummer.
The footage speaks for itself. So I do hope that we all can move on quite quickly. I don't enjoy listening to people talk about it. I think people just seem really horrible. when
Yeah.
they talk about it.
I mean, that's-
and
Yeah.
it sucks.
This is
Yeah.
the problem with it. It's just like, oh, there's a lot of bad people out there with like really bad opinions and malice in their hearts.
Yeah.
Girl,
And
see
even
the darkness in that.
I see
even-
the darkness in them. Yeah.
Well, and even the people who like aren't even like what was killing me was less like the bots and the trolls and whatever.
Yeah.
It was more the people being like, "Oh, this makes like the doom posting about it," and it's like, what actual negative consequences do you think it's going to have? Like, I don't think they're going to pull their TV. Their
Yeah.
TV deal because they're too gotten to or whatever, and it's just like, I mean, it's just not that
Yeah.
serious. I don't
It's
know.
fine. It's fine. And it's also I just wanted to shake some people being like, this is nothing, and be like, you are lying. You are lying. If
Yeah.
you watch this and you're just like, this is nothing. This is the second physical fight that this man has started in his workplace in the course of, a year. Like, well,
Yeah.
it's something.
Well,
Like,
and
Yeah.
even Meltzer said something like, "Oh, they were talking to each other for a long time, so someone should have broken it up." And it's like, yeah, it looked like a real calm conversation. I can see why no one did break it
And
up.
it was
because,
literally happening 6 inches away from Tony.
yeah, it was
like,
like right in front of like
you-
a million people.
I don't think anybody would have guessed that all of a sudden he would throw hands.
Yeah, just crazy.
it's like,
And
I'm
to be
not trying
clear, I did say earlier that it was nothing, but I just meant like it wasn't.
I know.
I'm just like, I agree with your point. Like, it is something, but it wasn't to me, it wasn't like, oh, this is going to change people's minds.
No.
But I do think it is, I think it is worth being out there. The question is like, should it have been on TV or should have Tony have tweeted it? But
Yeah.
I don't know that I'll ever have an answer to that, and I kind of don't think I'll ever have it. I'll have an answer at least till Dynasty, after Dynasty's
No,
over.
I
you know?
agree.
Whatever.
I agree. And
Whatever.
frankly, I'm glad that I wasn't in charge of making any of the decisions about it. And do
You know,
have
that's
anything-
an underrated point that people are not saying
Yeah.
enough. A lot of these people that are backseat driving, I'm like,
Yeah.
what you're doing seems so stressful. You should try not running a company from Twitter. I don't work there.
There's so many established wrestling bookers who always know the exact right business decision despite having never
Yeah.
worked in the industry. It's incredible.
If there's two things I know, it's that I don't run the company, and I think that's amazing for me. And two, I never want to be in a workplace with 90% of the IWC. I hope I never
Yeah.
have any of you as coworkers. You are unhinged. The way that you think and talk about stuff is a problem.
Yeah.
And I hope we never work together. Thank you so
These-
much.
Cute little male fantasies about how tough they are and how they would behave in the workplace are just like, yeah, all right, pal.
Buddy, I bet you would.
Typing it into ElonMuskX.com. Okay, tough guy.
Elon would love the IWC.